BBC Radio Merseyside.
Bring on the Vikings. I always think of Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis, Ernest Borgnine. They all had American accent, but it didn't matter. When you watch these classical movies, it didn't matter that the Vikings had American accents. Well, I don't know whether there's any Vikings in your family. Chances are, if you live in Wirral or West Lancashire, you may well have. The results of a genetic survey are unveiled tomorrow night, and the man behind the study is Wirral-born Viking expert Professor Stephen Harding, and joins us on the line now. Good morning to you, Stephen.
Hello, Tony.
You've seen that film, that famous old Vikings movie, haven't you?
Absolutely. Actually, my favourite was the one with Lee Majors in, called The Norseman, again, with American accents. So it's, yeah, your point was taken.
This has been a long-running study, hasn't it? What were you looking for exactly?
That's right. We came in the studios, goodness me, some 5 or 6 years ago, with you and Jimmy Mack announcing the start of the survey. So the results are being announced tomorrow night at the David Lloyd Leisure Centre in Knowsley, and people are invited to attend. Yeah, it's been a long study, but it's been a very rewarding study, and the results, as I say, will be revealed tomorrow night.
And how was the testing done? Was it a DNA thing? Was it a bit like Crime CSI?
It was a DNA Y-chromosome, which only men can take part in. But the problem we had with the Wirral and Merseyside, West Lancashire, was the large population movements that have occurred since the Industrial Revolution. But there's a trick we use, which was using old surnames to choose the volunteers from, and we've used old records of people paying taxes in the medieval period. Ken Dodd's missing, of course, from that, and also criminal records and people paying towards the fees and the wages of local priests and things. So we had this long list of names in the medieval period, which we could pool our volunteers from, and it's worked.
So Wirral and parts of Lancashire as well. People's surnames, family surnames, do they still have Viking names now?
Well, when we were doing it, we didn't choose people with Viking names because, don't forget, surnames didn't come into being until the 14th, 15th centuries. It was people with old surnames, people with names like Robinson, Bennett, Totty, a very old surname in Wirral, Otti, Rimmer, these sort of people, and also people with names of place names in Merseyside, like Lancashire and Wirral. So these folks would qualify for the survey.
So 5 years ago, when you sat down in this studio in front of me, did you think you would actually see this day coming 5 years on?
Well, I think we obviously with testing people, we had to give people the results, but the actual strength of the signals that came through really surprised us. I can't give any secrets away, otherwise it will spoil tomorrow night. But it was not just us; it was a combined effort. I mean, the main lead of the team actually was someone called Professor Mark Jobling, who's a population geneticist at the University of Leicester, but working with local organisations like the West Lancashire Heritage Association, and of course lots of people like yourselves who were sort of advertising the survey when it started off in the local press. A lot of people have been involved with this.
So can you give us a little clue about what you found? Because I know you don't want to give too much away because it'll steal the thunder for tomorrow. But what can we expect, Stephen?
Well, we can. Yeah, there is definitely something there, and it's, as I said, it's surprising how strong the signal has come out. How strong we will show tomorrow night. But also the other surprising, not surprising feature, was the fact that the River Mersey doesn't seem to be that much of a barrier in terms of the genetics of the area. People will see just how close the Wirral is to Lancashire, and does Wirral belong to Cheshire? Does Wirral belong to Merseyside? It'll be very clear tomorrow.
You're opening a can of worms with that one, fella, believe me. So when and where? It's going to be tomorrow. Where's it going to be, Stephen?
It's going to be tomorrow at the David Lloyd Leisure Centre in Knowsley.
Okay.
And it kicks off at 7 o'clock for 7:30.
Lovely stuff. And I don't know how you're fixed for Wednesday. I'd love you to come back on the programme on Wednesday morning just to tell us a little bit more about the results, if you would.
Defo. Then I can be a bit more sort of open.
Is that an old Viking word? Is it defo?
It's an older Scouse Viking.
It is, defo.
Yeah.
Well, we'll defo have you on, Stephen. It's always good to talk to you, and we'll
right,
speak to you
Tony.
on Wednesday. That's great. Thanks
Yeah, look
very much
forward to it.
indeed. Yeah,
Ta-ra.
me too. Thank you.
Bye.
So there you are. You can find out more about that survey on